This is Mustang Mike, and you're watching WGS-TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer and ZapXTV. I'm the WrestleGamer, Double B Billy Boudreaux, and you know, first off, I want to say I'm really enjoying the WWE Network. You know, ever since I picked it up last month, it's really been really good to have. And one of the big things recently is the fact that they've added a lot of ECW content to the WWE Network, and of course, one of their long-running series from ECW was ECW Hardcore TV. And I started watching it, and I figured, you know what? Why don't I give you guys my opinions on each one of the shows that I watch, you know, and talk about it with you guys on here and what I thought. So I'm going to take you back to March 14th, 1995. Now, the premise behind this episode of ECW's Hardcore TV was centered around the tag team division. The current champions, the Shooter, Dean Malenko, Crippler, Chris Benoit. Oh, yeah, I know that's a name that's really taboo with some other people. Not here, though. You know, they were the tag team champions. Well, they were. And then we had the Paulie Dangerously's tandem duo of Sabu and the Tazmaniac, who would later go on to be known as Taz, for those of you who didn't know. And of course, the Public Enemy. And the Public Enemy was trying to, you know, they had a contract and they were trying to get it signed for a three-way dance. They got Paulie to do it, but they were still on the lookout for the Crippler, Chris Benoit, and Dean Malenko to get it. And while they waited, they went to one of the things they normally did throughout the show with like match highlights from the ECW Arena, and that's exactly what they did. The first match highlights they showed was from Too Cold Scorpio and Hector Guerrero. You know, really cut and dry, nothing bad to say about it. And then they started panning off the you know, this was like really during the time the feud between Ian and Axel Rotten was really getting going. You know, they cut promos on each other. They showed some footage of their barbed wire baseball match, they called it, from the ECW Arena back in February. I want to, February 25th of that year, and that's pretty much basically what it is. And that's again really, now I don't know if this is before or after the Taipei death match they had, which was on the ECW Bloodsport DVD. And you know, and it was just like, it was several years ago when on the old podcast when we actually got to talk with Axel Rotten about his times in ECW, and that still really was a treat to get a chance to talk with him about that. But anyway, moving on, we also had we found out exactly the whole situation involving the tag team championship and the tag team division with Public Enemy. Flyboy Rocco Rock was apparently injured. You know, he came out in a wheelchair that was pushed by Johnny Grunge. They cut a promo saying that to Benoit and Malenko that they were going to get their titles. No, I think it was to Sabu and Tazmaniac at first about the tag team championship, but they were also going after Malenko and Benoit for injuring Flyboy Rocco Rock. And out comes Benoit and Malenko. They start attacking the Public Enemy, and then Taz and Sabu would come out and they would immediately start the tag team championship match. And you got to remember, guys, back in the day with ECW, that's kind of how they conducted their matches and kind of conducted their shows. Just wild, crazy stuff like that. Matchup in itself was indeed amazing to watch. And it was one of the real treats that really made ECW kind of a standout promotion in its time. And I'm really glad WWE Network put all of those shows on there for us to have the privilege to watch, and of course with me right now having the privilege to talk about with you guys here on WGS TV. I gotta say, really, the finish of the match again, it really adds to what they're going to be doing, or what they did at that time with the tag team division. They had Benoit. They set up a table on the top rope, and Benoit hit a power bomb off the top rope on Sabu and got the victory, and they thus making Benoit and Malenko the new tag team champions. So that's pretty much how the setup. Now they would go to Jason Knight, aka Jason, the sexiest man on the planet at the time, who was then working a gimmick as a manager for several tag teams, including Malenko and Benoit, and they were Public Enemy were attempting to get him to sign the contract for a three-way dance, and Jason threw it back in his face. And then Public Enemy would attempt to gang up on Jason. Then out comes the Pitbulls in the locker room, and they pretty much just assaulted the Public Enemy and got them out of there. And Jason would then go to Jason, cut a promo saying that Jason would sign, but they would have to defeat the Pitbulls in a match. And then, of course, you know, we also hear during the promo that the Pitbulls actually wanted a shot at the tag team championship. And it kind of reminded me of the situation, if you guys think about this, now that Jimmy Hart, after the stuff Jimmy Hart had back in the early 90s, you know, when he was managing teams like the Natural Disasters, the Nasty Boys, you know, Hart Foundation, so on and so forth, Rhythm and Blues, you know, every one of those tag teams wanted to be the tag team championship, and he had one, you know, he had one of his teams, I think it was the Natural Disasters at the time, they were the ones who had the championships in his stable, and yet the other teams in Jimmy Hart's stable wanted to be the champions. And you know, and when the Pitbulls started talking about that, you know, started discussing that in the promo, you know, that's what, you know, I started thinking of. And I'm looking at Jason, it's like, oh man, this dude's like the Jimmy Hart of ECW, you know, having all of these tag teams under his stable, and they both want to be tag team champions. You know, it just reminded me so much of that. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's what, you know, it really worked at the time. So I really thought that was a good thing to have. And finally, we end with a promo when it comes to Shane Douglas, Cactus Jack, Terry Funk, and the Sandman. Of course, Sandman with Woman, you know, rest her soul, Nancy Benoit, rest her soul. Again, it was really towards the peak of that the feud that we're having between these two teams. And when it comes to Shane Douglas, Cactus Jack, Terry Funk, and the Sandman, that was really like one of the top feuds at the time, because it also centered around the ECW championship and what they're going to be doing with that. But I gotta say, you know, for my first hardcore TV watching, because normally I would watch it, you know, back when WWE had classics on demand, and I don't have access to that anymore. But I'm glad WWE put this on the WWE network, so I get a chance for a lot of fans of the old school ECW to get a chance and the opportunity to watch, because back at that time, ECW was not a nationally recognized product. They were more of a regional product, especially around the Northeast area of the United States. And having an opportunity to see what made ECW such a standout promotion at that time was really a good treat and a good find to have on the WWE network. So I'm glad to have that on there. So on that, guys and gals, what I want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on ECW Hardcore TV from March 14th, 1995. Definitely want to know what you guys think. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Don't forget to follow me on the Facebook page, facebook.com/WGS-TV. And don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZFXTV Network if you haven't already. So with that being said, I'm the WrestleGamer, Double B Only Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching.